9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
We clear, ready to transmit. Pro fan hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.
What's going on, y'all? What's happening? Got to get some Pro Fan Hoops action. Pro Fan Hoops streaming. What's good with you? Can you guys hear me? Make sure my mic is on and get all of this. Make sure I'm not muted. What is this? What is this? Got some weirdness going on here. Hold on. And let's go back. Let's go to my close-up, second screen. Oh, I know why. I know why. Let me see something real quick. Oh, I know. There we go. All right. Had to make sure we got it good. Now we go. Now we go. Now we go. Now we can get the second screen in there. All right. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Harold said, you here for it. This whole CBA negotiation is a mess on the players' part. I agree, man. I agree. Let me say this first and foremost, man. I want these ladies to get paid. However, I understand the owners, where they coming from as a business standpoint. And this is my perspective on it. Whether or not you agree or don't agree, it seems like the optics are that the WNBA players are trying to take everything in one bite. That's how I see it. They're trying to take everything and get it all on the first shot. And that usually doesn't happen. So you cannot erase the 3 decades of non-profitability. I don't care who came in the league. And I know everybody wants to use Caitlin Clark coming in, and it's like the only thing they're concentrating on is the past 3 years. And I say 3 because Caitlin Clark has only been in the league for 2, but I will acknowledge that the year before, with everything that Las Vegas had done, there was an uptick. It wasn't an explosion, but they were heading in the right direction. And when Caitlin Clark happened, that was just the match on the powder keg, and it just blew up. That was the person. For whatever reason, that girl from Iowa that was hitting all them logo threes, that lost 2 back-to-back national championship games, everybody gravitated to her. I don't understand it. Well, I do understand it, but everybody was mad because it was her. That's what it seems like to me. But in any case, that's another conversation. It seems like the players are trying to just forget about all of the years of non-profitability, all of the years of everybody helping them out, supplementing the league, all of that kind of stuff. They're just supposed to forget all of that and concentrate on the last 2 years. Like the last 2 years has been the status quo, and it hasn't. This year, yes, last year was the peak. 2024 was the peak. 2025 is the end of the peak because things happen. Caitlin Clark mania was still everywhere. Then she got hurt. Then ratings dipped. And then they slowly but surely came back up because then you had the spillover effect. The spillover is, and I've said this before, Caitlin Clark can't make all the damn commercials. She can't get all the daggone endorsements. So you're going to have spillover. And what did you see? And then you see Asia Wilson and Sue Bird and Agumike on a car commercial. Of course, Caitlin Clark is everything State Farm. But then you had all of this. Sabrina had commercials. Kelsey Plum had commercials. There was a select group. Fee was on commercials, endorsements, and stuff like that. It was the spillover. Because what happens is other advertisers, other corporations, they say, "Oh, we can't get Caitlin Clark. She's already tied up. Who else can we get? Who can we get that's almost like that? Not quite, because there's only one, but who can we get that's well known?" And so there's a spillover effect. And there's a lot of people that get paid from that. There's a lot of people that advertisers didn't give two shits about 4 or 5 years ago. Now the league is in vogue. We got to get a WNBA player on our roster. Selling our merch, wearing our shoes, wearing our clothes, going to our establishment, driving our cars, whatever. That's the way it works. And it seems like, to me, the WNBA players are trying to get all of this, the whole attitude of we've been here for years and we've been doing this and we earned this and it should have been like this years ago, and all of that is all rolled up into one by most of these vet players. And also, let's keep it a buck. You don't think that these vet players are trying to get all of this now because they know they're not going to be in the league in 5 years? So they're trying to get their money right now because this is their last shot at it. If you don't think that's happening, you're not paying attention. That's just human nature. Why would you authorize a strike? That's just human nature. They want to get their piece of the pie while they still in the league, still in good health, and everything that comes with that. So, but in my opinion, it seems like they kind of going about this the wrong way. No. Let me rephrase that. They are not going about this the wrong way. I think their tactics in negotiations are not going well because I think they're asking for too much right off the bat. And again, I think they're conveniently forgetting the past 28 years of not making a profit. So what do you do with that? What do you do with somebody that's trying to run your business and they done lost money for the past 28 years? And then the 1 year they finally make a profit, they asking you for the big raise. Not incremental, not, hey, I need a little bit more, and then let's see what we can do. And then next year, maybe I'll get a little bit more, because that's the way the NBA owners are looking at it. We'll get into this, the WNBA's response to the press release yesterday. But I'm looking at this like, it just seems to me like the players are going about this the wrong way. They asking for too much. Why can't you take what the owners are offering and then say, instead of signing a 4-year deal, let's sign a 3-year deal, and let's come back and revisit this in 3 seasons. So now we can see, did the revenue stay up? Did the viewership stay up? Did the attendance stay up? What's the consistency? Did Caitlin Clark get hurt again? Did all of the other stars? Did all of the other women coming into the W, did they bring that fandom with them like Caitlin Clark did? Those are legitimate questions. Because if everything keeps rising like everybody expects it to, then you go into that next one, and then you can say, proof is in the pudding. Such and such got hurt, and the attendance and the viewership still went through the roof. This happened, that's happened. And we still had consistent growth. We didn't have a spike. Now you got more data to work with, and your cause is solidified because now you got facts. So let's look at this statement. This is the WNBA statement on WNBPA's, the Players Association. I hate saying the WNBPA. WNBA statement on the Players Association strike authorization vote. The National Women's Basketball Association released the following statement today in response. We are aware that the players have voted to authorize the WNBPA Executive Committee, basically all of the player reps, to call a strike if the Executive Committee decides to take that step in the future. While we acknowledge the players' right to authorize a future work stoppage, we strongly disagree with the Players Association characterization of the current state of negotiations. I believe the Players Associations called it draconian. Here we go with this verbiage. It is difficult to understand claims that the league is resistant to change, particularly given that we are proposing numerous CBA modifications, including significant immediate salary increases and a new uncapped revenue sharing model that will ensure continued salary growth tied to revenue growth. The league remains steadfast in its commitment to reaching an agreement as soon as possible and delivering a 30th season for the players, fans, teams, partners. We have negotiated in good faith and with urgency and remain focused on finalizing a new collective bargaining agreement that not only meaningfully enhances player pay, benefits, experience, but also does so in a way that ensures the long-term growth of the game and the league's capacity to serve the next generation of WNBA players. Listen, the one thing the players have to understand that if they strike, nobody makes money. And the only thing you do is put yourself back in the hole, except even worse. Because now, when you go on strike, now you're losing the fan base. Now you're losing the fan base because look at, easy example, look at baseball. When baseball went on strike, look at what happened to them. There was a huge contingency of baseball fans that were like, screw this, screw y'all go on strike. The rich want to get richer. Screw all of it. And they stopped watching. And when they finally got over the strike, I don't think people remember this. When they finally came out of the MLB strike, after all of that craziness, right? The viewership and the attendance was not good. And what brought baseball back? The home run race, the steroid-driven home run race. And I say it like that because if you think the Major League Baseball didn't know that there were steroids in baseball, you crazy. They knew exactly what they were dealing with. Yes, they wanted to get steroids out of the game, but they were not going to turn down all the money they were making from Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. And I would challenge anybody that if that one reporter didn't ask McGwire what Andro was, or if McGwire would have came across a little bit better, all of that stuff would have went away, and maybe Major League Baseball would still be letting them use that stuff. But at the end of the day, Major League Baseball didn't want to get rid of steroids. They wanted to keep making money. Because if they wanted to get rid of steroids, they would give back all that damn money they made. All them T-shirts they sold, all of that merch they sold, all of them records they broke, all of those attendance money, the attendance money that they made at the gate, concessions, all of that kind of stuff during that home run race. It was ridiculous. All the advertising money, the network, all the money the networks made. Because every time Sosa or McGwire was on TV, that was primetime television. That is what brought baseball back. And if that didn't happen, baseball would be in a world of hurt right now. the WNBA does not want to strike because even with Caitlin Clark, even with Angel Reese, even with the future of Mylasia Fulwiley and Lauren Betts and Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo and Juju Watkins and all of those players that's coming out in the next 3 years, even with all of that coming out, if the WNBA goes away, all of that momentum is going to just go in the dirt. All of it is just all for naught. So they better tread lightly. They better tread very lightly. So they got the WNBA got their issues. They not squeaky clean in this. Here's the one thing. Look at this. This is the WNBA website. And I'm going down here. This is everything on the front page. And I don't see nothing about the CBA negotiations. Let me go to news. Sue Bird's UConn jersey retirement. Dallas Wings. See, look at one thing from December 7th, and now we all way back in November. They got to get with the program, man. They got to get with the program. But so they're not squeaky clean either. They are not squeaky clean either, man. But the WNBA players do not want to strike. They don't want to do that. Matter of fact, if they go on strike, what's going to happen to all of the younger players that's in the league right now? Does the WNBA Players Association, do they have a pool of money to help out those players? Because now I got to look at it like what the NFL did. When the NFL players went on strike all those years ago, there was a pool of money together to help out the young players. It's all good when you say players are greedy and they got, they making $5 million and $10 million a year. But what about the third string running back that's making league minimum? What about him? So do they have, and I'm looking at this from the standpoint of like when I played in 93, league minimum was 100,000. It's a lot better now because now the league minimum for the NFL is like 750 grand. But the WNBA ain't there yet. They not at that level yet. So you can't do what grown folks is doing. They've been around longer. They make more money than you. And I do not understand why the WNBA players think that they can just automatically get what the NBA is getting. Do y'all have any earthly idea how much money the NBA makes? The NBA is a global brand right now. You don't deserve that type of money. So stop comparing yourself. I knew it was bad when I saw that. I should have brought that clip up. Y'all remember when Lisa Leslie was talking to Draymond Green, and she made the comment, well, maybe some of the NBA players should donate some of their salary. What? What do you mean donate some of their salary? She actually said this in an interview. and Draymond Green kind of put her in her place. Like, don't tell me we ain't been supporting, but now you want me to come out of my pocket? Because y'all can't generate interest. Ain't nobody coming to y'all games. So, kind of crazy, man. But that I use that example with that Lisa Leslie interview with Draymond Green. Look it up. Look it up and judge for yourself. When you have that type of attitude, like I deserve what y'all are getting. No, you don't. You don't make as much as they make. Just because it's called the WNBA, automatically you think you deserve what the NBA is getting. Well, guess what? When you sell out arenas and when you can generate the ad revenue and the media rights deals that the NBA can get, then we can talk. Y'all just now getting into that room. Y'all ain't even done it yet. You just getting into that room. You just now getting around these people. And I think, in my opinion, that's part of the problem with the WNBA right now. They just now got to this floor, or they got in this building where they making real money. And they got some real sharks over there negotiating for the owners. And I don't think they was ready for it. Like, this is a quid pro quo. I know what you say you want, but what are you willing to give up? And what have we heard from the players? We ain't budging. This is what we want. They know what, ain't nothing changed. And it's like, do y'all know how to negotiate? This is back and forth. You got to give to get. And the NBA just stood there just like, okay. So now let's put out the press release and let's show you what we're offering. What you mean we gonna give y'all 30% of the revenue sharing, and you mad? You was getting less than 15. Let me show you. Let me tell y'all how this works. And here's a good example of it. When I came in the league, when I signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, I signed as a free agent coming out of Eastern Kentucky. Small school, broke a lot of records. So they signed me as a free agent. I made the team, right? So you still have to have an agent. This is how agent works. This is how this works. I knew I was not going to make a lot of money right off the bat in the league. So my agent charges me 5%. Some agents charge a little bit more. It all depends. Each person is different. My agent charged me 5%. But when you represent somebody that's going to go late in the first round and guarantee the first round pick, and they're going to sign a $10 million deal with a team, the agent's only taking 3%, sometimes 2%. Why? Because 2% of $10-12 million is a lot of money. So the way it works is, the more money you make, the smaller the percentage the agent will take, because he gonna make that money back in the long run. And it's not like he making money back; he making money. What's 2% of 10 million? And that's how you got to look at it. If you only getting 25% of the revenue, y'all asking for 33. But what happens if you only got 25%? Or let's say you only got 20%, and the revenue steadily increases. The 20%, let's just make even numbers. The 20% of 500 million is not as much as the 20% for $1 billion. So your percentage stays the same, but because you make more money, y'all make more money. You put more money in your pocket. That's what the owners are looking at. We'll give you 30%, because the revenue going to keep going, and you getting 30% of a growing number. Well, now we want 33% right off the bat. No, you don't get that, especially when you ain't made money for 28 years. Stop it. They biting off too much. They're trying to take it all on one bite. What your mama tell you when you try to stuff all the food in your mouth at the same time? You gonna hurt yourself. You gonna choke yourself or something. You better slow down. That's what they're doing right now. That's exactly what they're doing. Eric say, are we pro player or pro owner? Players gave long enough. Owners got to give too. Too many other leagues out there for players to get better treatment and not deal with the foolishness. You can't say that, Erica. It's hard. You can't say that because number one, owners want to make money too. And the only thing you can go off is the history. You think all of them people that were subsidizing the WNBA don't want their money back? What do you do with all of those people? Why are you asking for this revenue and this, that, and the third when you going to pay them people back? They subsidize your league. I know you hate Kathy Engelbert. You don't let everybody in the world know you don't like Kathy Engelbert's leadership. All she did was keep the league afloat when COVID hit. That's all she did. Because if it wasn't for her, the league would have been folded years ago. So at least show a little bit of respect. She ain't done the best job, but she did do that. So I'm pro basketball. I'm pro players, but I also think right now what the players are asking for is unrealistic from their vantage point. It's unrealistic from the vantage point because you got to look at this, and this is how I see it. Because if they don't play basketball, what happens to all the people that work at the concessions? What happens to all the little dominoes that are affected by every time the WNBA players step on the court? What happens to the hot dog vendors? What happens to the people selling T-shirts? What happens to all of them? What happens to all of their jobs? They're in a pickle because they want to do it like the NBA is doing it. Well, you can't lengthen the season because if you start early, well, then now you cutting into the NCAA tournament. Can't do that. If you run it later, now you got too many games, but now they want to add games and not lengthen the season. So now you packing too many games and not enough time. Now you got people overworked, getting injured, all of that type of stuff. But can you complain about that if you get the money that you want to get? Can you complain about housing? Why does the WNBA got to pay for housing? If we go up your salary to make the base salary $500,000. Understandable if most of the players are earning less than $200,000 and these rookies are making $78,000 a year. I'm not talking about Caitlin Clark. I'm not talking about Angel Reese. I'm not talking about all of these people with this crazy NIL money. Everybody doesn't make millions in NIL. Doesn't happen that way. You still got classes. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark are in the top of their class. Every time Caitlin Clark steps on the court, she takes a pay cut. Every time Angel Reese steps on the court, she takes a pay cut. Every time Paige Becker steps on the court, she takes a pay cut. Because they got so much NIL stuff on the outside, technically, they don't need the WNBA. So you got to bring it back to basketball. And if you ain't playing basketball, and let's keep it a buck, wasn't Angel Reese the one that said, I got to start going to the meetings? Because they wasn't paying attention to none of this shit. You got to start coming to the meetings and paying attention. You think? That's not the shit you should be talking about on your podcast if you ain't even been to the meetings and you don't know what the hell they talking about. You just make you and the whole team look stupid. So I want to see these women get as much money as they can get. But you got to go about it the right way, or you ain't going to get nothing. You ain't going to get nothing. Y'all about to go from $78,000 a year to roughly over $200,000 per year. That's the difference. And that's one of the things that I didn't realize last year. Like, wait a minute, you got a $250,000 contract. That's a pretty good contract. Well, no. That's your rookie contract. That's a 4-year deal for $250,000. That's roughly $78,000 a year. That ain't no money, especially if you're talking about some of these people that live in New York and live in LA and some of these expensive ass cities. That ain't no money. But if you flip it up and now you making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year per season, you can't get an apartment with $500,000 in the bank. Come on now. So stuff like that. No, the WNBA shouldn't pay for your housing. If now you making the type of money you want to make, you got to give that up. That's part of the negotiation that you need to give up. No, you're not going to get housing. Y'all want benefits and all benefits, post prenatal care, pregnancy care, all of those things that women need cost a lot of money. So you got to balance that. If the league is going to pay for all that health care, then maybe y'all not going to make as much money. But the health care, great example. Why you think Phillip Rivers came back? Why you think he came out of retirement? Because when you added a league for 5 years, your health insurance stops. And that NFL insurance is quite well. It's quite good. So what do you do if your health insurance stop and you got 10 kids? Hello. That shit is expensive. So maybe you can't make as much as you want, but all your health insurance is covered. You got to play the game. It can't be just pay us what we owe. Well, if you really want to get into what they owe you, are y'all going to pay them back for the first 28 years? I love that bit. I love that bit by Bill Burr when he was talking about the WNBA and how nobody was at the games. And he said it should have been women there pulling up their T-shirts in the stands. He said, but nobody showed up. And he was right. And everybody got bent out of shape. When Caitlin came in, the attendance went through the roof. And then all of a sudden, everybody want to say, well, we've been doing this for years. It's been good basketball. Ain't nobody saying, well, it wasn't good basketball. What we said was, well, ain't nobody showing up to the games. And now you got somebody that's making people show up to the games. And now y'all got a problem with her? Y'all trying to take her out? Y'all trying to be uber physical and take it to the next level? Now, half of that I blame on the players. The other half of that I blame on the league. Because all y'all had to do was blow the damn whistle, and that would have took care of all of that shit. But the league couldn't even do that. That's the most blame I put on Kathy Engelbert. Y'all couldn't have a come to Jesus meeting with them damn referees and them officials? Because that was across the board. That's the only thing about the WNBA that was consistent. The refs were horrible. And there is no argument against that. And instead of protecting the players, the new players, the golden goose that you got right in your barn, instead of protecting her, not even protecting her, blow the freaking whistle. That's how you protect her. If somebody fouls her, blow the whistle. And if they foul them again, give them a tech or throw them out the game or let them foul out. But you got folks coming over, pushing folks to the ground, scratching eyes, all of that type of stuff. And you want to hide that under the guise of this is just tough basketball. Yeah, I know it's tough basketball. But guess what? A foul is still a foul, right? In my opinion, that's what started all of this nonsense. That right there. The refs not blowing the whistle and everybody just letting them play. And it got to the point where it was obnoxious, it was obvious, and it was unfair. And it wasn't just Caitlin Clark was just the low-hanging fruit. This was across the league. The calls were horrible. And then that led to the conversation of they got it out for Caitlin Clark. They trying to hurt that girl. But you know what? When somebody punches you in the throat and the refs don't call nothing, and when Alyssa Thomas slammed Angel Reese on her neck, and you know they threw her out the game, but what happened after that? It was like they all cool and like you gotta set the precedent. You gotta set the tone. Because I know for a fact that these women have been playing hard for years, but at least they was blowing a damn whistle, and it made it look bad. Everybody gravitates towards CC. She has as many fans as detractors. Absolutely. So does everybody else. So does Angel. You take the two biggest names. And I say it just like this. In my opinion, Caitlin Clark was the catalyst. She's the one that sparked it. She's the one that kicked in the door with attendance. Everybody was paying attention to her. It wasn't Angel. That's not to say that Angel didn't have a big following. It just wasn't that big. However, Angel had social media on lock. Angel Reese's social media presence was unmatched and still is. So why not bring both of them together? You got the basketball element, you got the social media and online presence in this social media era. Why wouldn't they put the two together. They had the All-Star game. They played on the same team. When Caitlin Clark made the pass to Angel Reese, the place erupted. They went nuts. And then for that split second, it's like, you know what? When you play professional sports, you ain't supposed to get along with everybody. But when you on the same team, ain't it funny how you can work together? You've been seeing all of this USA basketball. They on the same team. Ain't nobody having no problems because that's what sports are for. But dumbass WNBA, you had a moment right there that you could capitalize on it, put them two together, do some stupid commercial, put them in the same space. They couldn't even figure out how the hell to do that. And it just made the situation worse. It made the divide worse. Then you had all of this dumb shit that was going on. And now you can, if you want to blame it on some fans that, you know, but what does everybody do? When one thing happened, everybody goes ham on it. And here's the problem. And this is across all sports. Because what I'm about to say right now is across all sports. This ain't just with the WNBA, but again, the WNBA was the low-hanging fruit. When they started throwing them the dildos on the court and all of that shit. And all of a sudden, Angel Reese is hearing monkey sounds in the crowds and all of that stuff. Nobody bothered to investigate it. And when it came back around that it was a crock of crap, then it was like, oh, I didn't hear anything anyways. Ain't nobody said anything to me. And I was like, y'all went through all of this shit for a week, and it just made you look stupid. Nobody bothered to vet the information. You told Angel Reese that somebody was doing that. So why would somebody tell her that? Somebody got to do some investigating, because I remember that where somebody told Angel Reese it was happening, but nobody told the head coach. So when they asked the head coach about it, Tyler Marsh was like, I didn't hear that. I don't know what you're talking about. So it just made the WNBA look stupid. And it made the players look stupid because, once again, you got people on both sides of the battle lines. And it's like, see, I told you, that's some Caitlin Clark fans in Indiana. And it was like, no. And then somebody pulled up videotape, go on YouTube, and you hear that same whistle or that same sound for the last 10 games. And it was like, well, no, this fan has been coming to games for years. Now you want to throw them under the bus because somebody got to be the villain now. Because everybody's letting the narratives lead the way, and nobody doing homework. Nobody's doing homework to find out if they talking smack, if it's true, anything like that. So it's not like I like Angel Reese. Why can't I like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese at the same time? Because now, if you talk about one, you can't talk about the other. I'm like, y'all ain't gonna tell me who the hell I can root for, talk about. No. I like Caitlin Clark, and I criticize her game. Sometimes she don't move her feet on defense. Sometimes she got a bad attitude. I can say the exact same thing about Angel Reese. When Angel Reese is on, she's on. Y'all joked about her knee bounds and all that kind of stuff and her percentage under the basket. And me, as somebody that played professional sports, I'm old school. So my attitude is like, I don't give a damn how you get it done. You got it done. If you get 3 rebounds because you getting your own misses and ain't nobody on the other team boxing you out so they can pull down that rebound, and they letting her get more and more rebounds or whatever you want to call them, if the other team is letting that shit happen, shame on them. Get your ass down there on the block, box her out, and pull down the rebounds. If she getting 3 and 4 rebounds off her own misses and ain't nobody coming in to contest that, why is that her fault? That's how I see it. You can joke about it, but guess what? She kept doing it, and then she did it again. Well, maybe you do it twice in a row, maybe it ain't luck. Then you do it 3 times in a row, maybe it ain't luck. Then all of a sudden, she ringing off these double-doubles, and I'm like, everybody said that the double-double was no big deal in the WNBA. Then what happened I remember hearing this last year. I can't even remember who it was, but it was like a 6 or 7 year veteran had their first career double-double. And I was like, well, if Angel is doing it damn near every night, and y'all say it's not a big deal, and you got 4, 5, and 6 year vets getting there first, well, maybe it ain't just that easy. And it became it became a situation where trying to give somebody a compliment was like pulling teeth because you couldn't be critical of a situation. I'm a Indiana Fever fan. I'm an Indiana Fever fan because of Kelsey Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark. But I am a Caitlin Clark fan. Don't get it twisted. And I was getting into arguments on Caitlin Clark Facebook groups because I would watch the game. And again, me as a former professional player, I watch tape. And if I see something that I don't like on tape, I'm going to call it out. Doesn't mean I don't like Caitlin Clark. Doesn't mean I don't like Angel Reese. It just means me as a professional player, tape don't lie. So when I see something that I don't like, I'm going to call it. And I'm getting into arguments. It was like, well, why are you on this channel if you hate Caitlin Clark? Who said anything about hate Caitlin Clark? All I'm saying is the game that I just watched, her attitude was piss poor when they started D'ing her up. And it was very easy to tell. That 100% correct. So, people think nowadays in this social media era, and I understand it, but again, I'm old school. I graduated college in 1993. That was 2 years before Windows 95 existed. You feel what I'm saying? I'm old school. I grew up with freeze tag and hose water. So we were built different. We were coached different. The expectations were different. Everybody didn't get a trophy. That's a whole nother conversation, bro. Oof. So I don't mind looking at somebody that I like and offering constructive criticism. That's what athletes do. That's how you get better. But people that just want to be fans or trolls, they'll want to come at you if everything about their favorite player isn't all roses. Ain't going to be like that. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Alabama 17-0. Oof. All right. Hold on. I'm about to look that one up, bro. Let me see if I can see what we got. See, we'll put the scores on in the background. Alabama. Okay. Ooh. I might have to turn that game on. I might have to turn that game on. Hold on. There we go. Let's go play by play. Here we go. There we go. Gamecast. 4th and 2. They getting with it. So, it's kind of crazy, man. CC does dirt and hides behind Boston Sophie and her fan base. Listen, man. Caitlin Clark been doing the same shit she's been doing since she was in college. She talk a lot of shit. The one thing that I always had respect for, and this is when I really started watching Caitlin Clark, when she lost that first year when LSU thumped them and took the title, and you had all of the ring and all of that kind of stuff. At the post-game press conference, she ain't make no bones about it. She said, I talk trash too. That's just the competitive spirit, all of that type of stuff. And I was like, respect. Because you didn't bitch about it. You talk shit. You talk cash shit. A lot of it. And when somebody gets in your grill, you don't like it. That's why she had such a problem with that chick from Connecticut. It was the Connecticut Sun, J.C. Sheldon, the girl from Ohio State. That girl was D'ing her ass up that game, bodying her up, playing with her chest, and was putting good defense. And then things got out of hand because, once again, the refs wouldn't blow the damn whistle. Do I think she tried to scratch her on purpose? No, I don't. That was just moving her hands as part of the play, trying to play defense, and she got a little bit close. Do I think, again, I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark, but do I think she flops sometimes? Hell yes. Absolutely. Along with everybody else in the league. So It is what it is. Yeah, you like that, Bill Burr? Check out that bit, man. That's hilarious. It's hilarious. So, but that's not for you to determine, because, like I say this all the time, um, Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. Full stop. Point period in the paragraph. But she is not the most popular. Those are two different things. And everybody thinks the best player has to be the most popular. They don't. People forget Michael Jordan was the most popular player in the NBA until he won this title, in his 6th year? It took him 6 years to do it. Before that, he was playing on a sorry-ass Chicago Bulls team, dunking on everybody, and his highlights led Sports Center. That's why Michael Jordan was the best. But Michael Jordan struggled his first 6 years. So this ain't about earning it. This is about, for whatever reason, and this is what people need to understand, for whatever reason, when Caitlin Clark got into the league, everybody gravitated to her. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the phenomenon was. I remember watching Iowa that first year, when that year they lost to LSU. But during the year, I remember seeing Iowa, and they did a thing about Iowa. This is when the Caitlin Clark mania was at a fever pitch. And they showed the school where they was giving away, they had the student tickets going on sale, and the students were in line at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the game wasn't until 8 p.m. that night. So she was already generating all of that. And if you look at her career in high school and when she played AAU, and the I guess this the U18, US, she was on all them US teams, the travel teams. She's always been like that. Always. And that fandom followed her. And when everything happened at Iowa, everything, her recipe, for whatever reason, worked. That's the only way I can describe it. We don't pick who it's going to be. I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle. Do y'all think that we had any inclination when we drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round that he would be the guy to take over this franchise and take us to 2 Super Bowls and win one? No. But to your point, he proved it. On the field, he proved it. But everybody liked him. How many times do we get these people in the leagues? You name your professional sport. I don't care if it's soccer, hockey, baseball, tennis, whatever it is. You get all of these people that just everybody likes. Look at what's the girl's name? What's the tennis girl that was just on all the Anna Kournikova? Anna Kournikova was everywhere for a time in women's professional tennis. She had the look. She was cover girl material. She was gorgeous. This, that, and the other. That girl was everything but a good tennis player because she couldn't beat nobody. I don't think she ever did win a Grand Slam because she was getting her asses whooped all over the court. But you know what? You saw her on every magazine cover, on the beach, in the bikinis, all of that type of stuff. She milked it for what it was worth. She got her money out the deal. She just couldn't win tennis tournaments because she wasn't that good. She was good looking, but not a good tennis player. But you can't determine who you want to root for. You can determine who you want to root for, but the masses. I heard L. Duncan say something one time where in my opinion, this is when the schism from Caitlin Clark really started happening. Was when, and L. Duncan said this, and I was like, that's the perfect example. She said, we work at ESPN. We have a crew, and the only thing they do is figure out what we should talk about, and the audience responds to what we talk about. So we can look at it in a vacuum, and they tell us what the audience wants to hear. And the audience wants to hear about Caitlin Clark. They don't want to hear about nobody else. And I was like, there you go. And all of them players and all of that pettiness that was going on in the league, it was all ego. I want to be the prettiest girl in the room. That's what it seemed like. It all came down to, it seemed like it was some high school shit. Even as much as I like Angel Reese, when you gotta say, oh, I'm pretty too. It was me too. I was like, we know it's me. We know it was you too. But when you gotta say it, it just you lose the luster. You lose it. That's like, you pretty, you good looking, you can do the job, but unless somebody tells you, you don't believe it. That's how that came across to me. You didn't even have to say that. But I tell you what, man, they should have. Everybody in the W needed to take media classes because it was horrible for a minute. And we having this whole conversation now because I don't want to see them go on strike. I do not want to see these girls go on strike. I don't. Nothing good comes from it. So, but look at, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about the situation. I just hope they don't go on strike. I hope they figure it out. And I hope they come to some type of agreement. Because if they do go on strike, hell, I guess we'll be watching Project B. I'm not watching Unrivaled. I might watch Unrivaled to watch Kelsey Mitchell play. But I don't want to watch 3-on-3 basketball. 3-on-3 basketball does not appeal to me. I tried to watch it in the Olympics. I never watched the big three. I watched a couple of games, but it couldn't hold my interest. I don't like it. I don't like 3-on-3 basketball. I want to see 5-on-5 hoops. I tried to watch Unrivaled last year. It couldn't hold my interest. They did some things well, and I watched because I was curious and I wanted to support. So I watched a lot of it last year, but it just, if you're not interested in something, when you miss it, you've got to watch the episode. If you forgot to watch the game and you like, when you want to do something, you find a way to do it. If you want to see somebody, that's why NCAA women's basketball is such. I want to see Olivia Miles. If Olivia Miles is on TV, I'm looking to find where the game is on. If Hannah Hidalgo is on TV, I want to watch Notre Dame. If Penn State is playing, I want to watch Keomi McMillan. I want to wait till Juju Watkins can come back. I want to see UCLA so I can see Lauren Betts. I want to watch USC again because I want to see Jazzy Davison. Is she really going to be that good? So you find a reason to watch and you find a way to watch. If the WNBA goes on strike, and they learned this lesson last year when Caitlin Clark got hurt, there was a big contingency of people that stopped watching after she got hurt. And don't think that it can't happen again, because for all of the dumb shit that they was doing and letting the hard fouls go and not blowing the whistle and all of that type of stuff, she got injured on some non-contact stuff. Like it wasn't like a violent hit or anything like that. It was just, she zigged when she should have zagged, and she stopped a certain way. And whatever that joint was in her hip that she hurt or in her groin that she hurt, the expiration date just pulled on that bad boy. Just like Juju Watkins, if you saw that play when it happened, when she tore her knee, she was barely touched. She was barely touched. Micah Parsons, non-contact. Non-contact. Devontae Adams running down the field. Sniper took out that hamstring. But the ones that happen and nobody touches you, those are the ones you got to be scared of. So I need these women to come back and get it together. And by the way, Erica, I'm kind of going back looking at the what you said about what does $500K look like after taxes. That is a great question. And just to add to that, what does $500K look like after taxes living in New York, living in LA? You can still do what you got to do, though. You can still do what you got to do. But if you're making $500,000, I don't care where you live. That's enough for you to get you an apartment, furnish it, and do what you got to do. Rent everything in the apartment and go. And mind you, is that a rule? If now we're talking about housing, so we all on the same page. If the WNBA, if in the CBA they lose the housing, can't the team still opt to do that? That just means if it's not in the CBA deal, that just means the team is not mandated to do it, but the team can still do it. You think when some of these teams and some of these baseball teams and football teams and NBA teams, you think when they don't sign a big star from the other part of the country, do you think that person has to come to town and take all the time to go around the city and find a place to live? No, the team has people in place to make that shit happen. You come here, you sign here, we'll take care of your room and board. We got a nice apartment for you down on Delaware Ave, not far from the stadium. We'll cover that. You just get here and we need you to play for us. A team can still do that. They're just not mandated to do that by the CBA. So teams can still do what they want to do. So, but to close this out, man, the WNBA, they put their statement out. They put a response out to the craziness that the Players Association put out, talking about this was draconian practices and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, man, listen, like, keep it a buck. We know y'all deserve the money. You're gonna get a raise if you play your cards right. But stop acting like y'all was making all of this money decades ago. You weren't. You weren't. The WNBA as a league was struggling to keep his head above water. And the NBA was giving you a handout for the past damn near 30 years. And now you want to just act like none of that happened. So from that standpoint, in my opinion, the Players Association is kind of going about this a little wrong. You can't ignore the history. You ain't got to stay in it, but you got to, like I said, it's some people that's been carrying you for the past 30 years, and they want their money back. So, but I'm going to get up out of here, man. There's going to be a lot more coming from Pro Fan Hoops. A lot more content coming up because shit just keeps happening. So, there's going to be a lot of that, man. So, appreciate y'all joining in. We got people from Twitter, people from Facebook. Everybody on Twitter right now, I appreciate you. And we're going to keep this thing going. There's going to be a lot more conversations coming. So, I'm working on a project right now that's about Project B. So, I'm looking to have that done pretty soon. So, a lot of news coming out, and we're going to keep with it. So, appreciate everybody that was in the chat. Appreciate all the comments, Harold, Erica, or Eric. Is it Erica L. Ford or is it Eric Alford? I want to get that right. I don't want to be calling you out the wrong name and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, Terrell 649, they're trying to do what women's soccer got. Yeah, but they think they're better than women's soccer. That's a good point, though. But they think they're better than women's soccer. So, they have been in the room but didn't have someone who was a draw. Now that they have someone who's a draw, no, the NBA will give them a piece of the TV deals. You're right. It's coming, but this is all new. This is all new. So, and they got to act like it's new. They can't act like, well, we've been doing this for years. We've been playing. It's like just because they've been playing hard, that means that, doesn't automatically mean that everybody, the arenas are going to be filled. I'm sorry, that it don't work that way. Then y'all get the golden ticket. Y'all treated them like shit. I don't understand that. So, but anyways, they gonna get what they get. We'll see. We shall see. Eric, thank you, Eric. Appreciate that, bro. So, yeah, man. This saga's gonna continue. Please don't go on strike, WNBA. Please don't go on strike. Swallow your pride. Take the deal. You should have took the money, Toombs. Should have took the money. So I want to see Caitlin Clark. I want to see Kelsey Mitchell. I want to see Paige Beckers. I want to see all these women play again next year. And if they have a work stoppage, if they go on strike, and it's a real strike, and they lose, they only play 44 games. So how many games is 44 games? So if they go on strike and they get past 10 games on the schedule, that's a quarter of the season. And then they get up to close to 20 games. Now you're talking about half the season. What's the threshold to where they cancel the whole season? Because they can't move it back. They can't move it back. Are they even going to have a draft this year? And they just got expansion teams and all of that kind of stuff. That's why I believe they're not going to do this. They just got Portland. They just got Toronto. So they're doing all of this moving and shaking. And all of a sudden, the players, we ain't going to play until you give us what we want. Pay us what you owe. Well, what does the owners owe the players when y'all have been unprofitable for the past 28 years? How much does the owner owe the players? So we'll see what's going to happen. But I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. We're going to start doing this more often, especially with basketball. And we are in the final 4 games of football season. I'm kind of separate things. That's why I started this Hoops channel, because I was crossing the streams. I'm talking about WNBA stuff on a football channel. So I was like, let me start another channel and get it going. So trying to get this channel over 1,000. I'm little under almost, I'm at like 394 right now. So please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. The same way you do for Pro Fan Talk, do it for Pro Fan Hoops, because I'm going to become a defier every chance I get, man. And eventually, Eric, Harold, everybody that was in the chat, Terrell, I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna start opening up the mic. I'm gonna start dropping the link, and if you want to come on the show, give your opinion, you can do that. You don't have to be on camera. You can just be on the microphone and say what you got to say. But it will be basically like an open mic night. So that's coming. That's coming. So, but appreciate that, man. Appreciate everybody. Good conversation, man. No, we didn't have a lot of people, but still good conversation. Good conversation. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Hopefully my Eagles will take care of business tomorrow. And maybe next week we'll have some more news to see what's going on with the WNBA. So holla at y'all later, man. Appreciate you. See you in the next one.
We clear, ready to transmit. Pro Fan Hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.